Welcome to Universe. In this video, we will begin by exploring the Blender interface to get you comfortable with the basics. Knowing your way around the interface is the key to an efficient workflow. So, let's get started. So, when you open Blender, you're going to find yourself in Blender default mode, and that is the 3D viewport in object mode. So this is where you're going to spend most of your time creating and manipulating objects in 3D viewports in Blender. With this object selected, you can switch between different modes right here. Using the mode switcher, you can switch between different modes. You can switch to edit mode. You can also switch to sculpt mode and others, depending on your workflow. Of course, there are shortcuts for this, but don't worry, we're going to talk about that later. Next, at the top right corner is your outliner. This section shows a list of all the items in your scene. So, anytime you add a new object, it reflects right here in real time. You can also use the outliner to hide, unhide, or group objects in your scene. This is especially useful in creating complex scenes where you might lose track of your objects. Next, at the bottom right corner, we have the property panel right here. This is a very important part of Blender as it allows you to adjust all the settings for objects, materials, rendering, and more. On the render tab right here, you can manage the rendering settings. You can also switch from EV to cycles. On the output tab right here, you can manage output settings like the resolution, the frame rate. You can decide how many frames per second you want to render your animation, and you can also adjust the frame rate. You can decide when you want your animation to start, as you can see right here, and you can also decide when you want your animation to end, as you can see right here. Then you can also use this setting right here, which defines where to save your rendered images and animations. Then you can also adjust the file formats. You can decide whether to render as a PNG, JPEG, or render as a video, or any of these settings right here. Next, we have the color management. You can adjust these settings to make your work look well defined. Next, we have the world properties tab. Here you can control the brightness of your world in the rendered view. You can also add environment textures like the HDRI to brighten your scene. Next, we have the modifier tab right here. You can add modifiers like the subdivision surface modifier to make your object smoother or to achieve your desired result. You can also add modifiers like the mirror modifier to mirror your object to the other side. Then you can also add an array modifier to your object. This will help you work faster and more efficiently. Next, we have the material tab right here. You can manage how your object look by applying materials to it. Next, at the bottom of the interface, we have the timeline. This is mostly used for animations. You can add and manage keyframes right here, making the timeline essential for animating objects and properties in your scene. At the left side of the 3D viewport, you'll see the tool panel right here. If you don't have it, press T to bring it back. You can press T to toggle it on and off. Then on object mode, you'll notice tools like the move tool used for moving objects in your 3D viewport. You see tools like the rotate tool used for rotating objects in your 3D viewport. Then we have the scale tool right here used for scaling objects in your 3D viewport. And we have the transform tool and others right here. So it's better to experiment on these features to know what each tool can do to your objects. When you tab into edit mode, when you press tab to enter edit mode, you will notice that we have more features right here. You'll see the add cube used for adding cube. You can use this to add a cube in your scene. You'll notice the extrude tool used for extruding your objects in the Z or any axis of your choice. You can extrude in the Z or Y or X axis. Next, you will see the insert tool right here. This is used to insert faces to your object. You can use this to insert faces, and in cases where you need to insert a face and extrude, you can insert a face and use the extrude key to extrude in the Z axis, and you get something like this. Next, you will notice the bevel tool. Then in situation where you need to bevel your objects, you can use the bevel tool or you can use Ctrl B to bevel. So while doing this, you can scroll on your mouse to increase the number of the counts. Then you have something like this. Next, you will see the loop tool. This is used for adding loop cuts to your scene. Next, we have the knife tool. This is used to adding cuts to your scene. You can use this to add a cut. You can check out these features to know what each tool can do to your objects, as I said earlier. Next, on the right side of the 3D viewport, we have the sidebar. If you don't see this, press N to toggle it on and off. The item bar right here shows the exact transformations of your selected objects, like the location, rotation, and scale. The tool tab right here displays settings for active tool, letting you adjust them. In the view tab, you can snap camera to view by checking the camera to view box. Next, at the very top of the 3D viewport, we have the shading options right here. Here you can switch between different shading modes. A wireframe mode displays geometry in wireframes. The solid mode shows shaded objects without textures. The material preview displays objects with materials and lighting. This is useful for previewing textures. And lastly, the rendered mode. This shows the fully rendered view based on your selected render engines, meaning that you can either render in Eevee or in Cycles. Then let's go back to solid mode. Right here we have the extreme mode right here. So this makes your objects transparent in 3D viewport. When you turn it on, you notice that your cube is transparent. So this is very useful, especially when you are using a reference image, as you can see. Next, at the very top of the 3D viewport, we have the file menu right here. Here, you can start a new project. You can open a new Blender file from your PC. And here, you can also open your recent Blender projects. You can also recover your last session right here. And you can save your Blender project right here, or you can just press Ctrl X to save. You can also save another copy of your Blender project by clicking on this save copy. And we also have other features that you can explore. And then if you want to import and export your file, your Blender file, you can use these features right here. Next, we have the edit menu right here. Here you can undo and redo what you have already done. And you can also adjust your last operations. Under the edit menu, you will find the preferences which allows you to customize Blender to your liking. If you want to add any Blender add-on, you can search for it up here and you can add it to your scene by clicking on these boxes right here. Once you're done adding your add-ons, you can save what you have already done by clicking on the Save Preferences. Next, we have the Blender workspaces. Here you can switch from different workspaces like the layouts, the modeling, the sculpting, the UV editing, and others. As you can see, we have the texture and the shading and animation. That's a quick overview of Blender interface. Once you're familiar with it, navigating will be second nature, letting you focus on creativity. In the next video, we will explore essential keyboard shortcuts to boost your workflow. If you found this video helpful, please like and subscribe for more Blender tutorials. See you in the next video.